Good day for everybody. Thank you for being here. Today I'm pleased to introduce our speakers for this webinar on strategic twinning, which is very important for us in the organization. And our speakers is Dr. Ching-fang Chang. She is well known as Bamei. Is the current mentoring task force chair and former public relationship standing committee chair of BPW Hong Kong. Professionally, she is an organizational researcher and consultant with a PhD in modern language and cultures. This is also something that we learned, that we don't know so many new PhDs and careers. So for me, it's the first time that I heard that you can get this important, interesting PhD. Thank you, Dr. Ching. Thalia Valkouma is the current president and past vice president of BPW Thessaloniki in Greece. She is working as an strategic planning support manager at Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, consultant to the office of the mayor in Volvi with a master's degree in civil engineering. And Viks is the immediate past president of the Federation of BPW Estonia and incoming regional coordinator for BPW Europe. Professionally, she is an information management specialist in the area of international cargo transport, holds master's degree in philology, and lives in Tallinn. Thank you very much to our speakers, and thank you, all of you, for being here today. The floor is yours. Thank you. I think that
I will be the first one, right?
Yes, Bamei, to you.
Thank you for introduction. And let me share my screen.
Did it again?
Moment. So, is everyone can see it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to the main topic about the training. But actually, I'm also new for this part, but I try to catch up and also learn from the data end. So this part actually is we're talking about BPW international guidelines. Here will be a very short briefing about what is the twinning. But actually, twinning is just two BPW clubs or federations connect with the twin. It's like a affiliation or affiliation school, or like a sister school, you can see. So actually, we are just between the activity between the two clubs or federations. So, and with the twinning charter. So the charter is, we have agreement to pursue a common interest or goal while building a close relation between two clubs or two federations. So actually the purpose for the twinning is about, of course, we have a social and a cultural exchange with different clubs. Also, we share a common interest in your professions or industry. Or we visit each other, or our member maybe want to visit a different club when they travel. So also we exchange news and like newsletters, or get a great idea from each other, learn from each other. So actually twinning is actually an equal relationship with both clubs, sharing good gaining. So beyond that, twinning is what you make for you. You can give idea to do between two clubs if you agree with. So also consider the purpose, how to step to do the twinning. So you have to think about your purpose, why you want to do this. So you want to do what kind of level twinning. domestic, international, or within or outside your region, or maybe in Asia only, or in North America, or in Europe. So it depends on how big you want to make it. And you may think about how's the language between each other. Of course, we have common language here, English, but for some area, maybe we have, for example, maybe we speak Mandarin together, or we have some dialogue together. So you think about language. Also, you have some shared goal or some similarity. So also you can think about difference. So we have a different, because different club, they have their different skills to focus, and the different members, they have a different ability. So networks to offer one another. So also you have to think about identify as another club or federation to tune with yours, and think also to clarify each other how the purposes is to match each other or not. So if you agree, maybe you are, continue to approach to tuning agreement together, and you can clear outline your goal to tuning each other. And also you have decided duration, how long you want to tune each other. So next. Okay, so yeah, so you may think about, then you think about you clarify you clear your goal, your purpose. So you have to think about how to contact those twin club. Actually, those information you can see in our international website, but you may think about how can I get a contact with the twin club. So you can contact your regional tuning chair for support. Maybe they give you the most updating information. So, and you have to, after agreement with each other, so you have filed a complete agreement with BPW International Tuning Taskforce Chair, and then receive your tuning charter. So I'm here just very briefly talking about a very simple process, but if you want more information, you can see the website here. So you're looking for more information. So, and then last. Okay, so a little bit back to the BPW Hong Kong tuning history. So here, actually, I joined the BPW Hong Kong in 2018. So I didn't participate in this part, but we want to have a very briefing sharing about it here. But we are established in 2015. But actually, we orange back to our history can track back to the 1979 to 2013. So, but our training history actually is start from 2015 to we take its first term. So the purpose actually we want to have a global outreach, also learn best practice. So we have trained with those area as you can show here, Asian Pacific. We have seen Australia, Europe, Africa, North American, Latin American. So the term is until 2017. So second one. No, I don't. Okay, the second term is 2017, 2019, which I joined the BPW Hong Kong, and actually we have a twin club with Philippines, New Zealand, and Malaysia, and also I remember once a member from New Zealand to visit Hong Kong, so we have team together. Even just a basic visit still work, and we can exchange information together. So the goal is to form a strong tie within our region. So share best practice, and you can learn the strong part from their club. So the term is until like a 2020 Congress. Also because BPW Hong Kong actually average age is pretty, we are here pretty young. So actually we also consider support the new club like similar like our members. So also this kind of duration is until 2020 Congress. Then here now is from this year, but unfortunately actually COVID-19, we cannot travel at all. So far actually I have some plan. Usually I travel 4 to 5 times every year. Also another my co-chair Mandy, she also travel a lot, but we are planning on to visit different club, but it's just suspended. But I want to continue to tune with the Exist Club. We are talking with them later. Also, we're talking some potential tuning club. big like Singapore, Bangkok, because our president should have a connect with Thai, and I'm originally from Taiwan, so I'm thinking about working with the Taipei. So some maybe plus some personal background, so it should be workable. So just briefing about this year, we have our ESCO officer on behalf of our committee member here. So you see we have a really strong team, as I know. We're gonna have a happy hour this Friday. So we are trying to do what we can do. So this year, even it cannot have so many physical events, but we still continue to have a different event and to explore more information or get more knowledge from each other. So now here, this kind of past oncoming event is an example for some club if they want to tune with Hong Kong. So maybe they can think about this kind of example. We can do online event together. For example, we have an irregular gathering happy hour. We have an article published in the Hong Kong Good Post, which is only SDG online news in Hong Kong. So you can see the sample I show the post here. And so we do the regular global skill training program. That's the pink poster here. So invite a member or we invite a different field talent skill person. They try to share their experience with, and we doing usually it's a lunchtime. So even we work, but we still have very productive and to participate during the lunchtime. Also, we're gonna have a project GE, which we offer for the is gender equality. We want to have a storytelling competition for primary school students to give them more about gender equality, like kind of concept. Yeah, we're gonna have this in the Q3, Q4. And also we have 3 there mentorship, which we have this one last year, which is we think is really good, and the result is also good. So we want to continue this year. So it's kind of example for your reference. So actually, to summarize like tuning collaboration. Of course, the president each club, they have a regular contact with one another to get the best practice, and they have getting idea from the clubs. So, and also young BPW representative, they also can have a regular contact. But what we think we can do is a B2B parts, business exchange, like I mentioned before those events. Also, even very simple, like a member information exchange. You made an Excel like information for the interested member. They want to exchange their name, profession, or their email address to exchange their idea is fine. Or you just share news is also okay. But in the future, you want to have like a join online events, most welcome. We do that easier now. Yep, that's all from me. And if you want to follow us, just please go to Facebook, LinkedIn, and also we have homepage and the email here. If it's not enough, maybe Anne can add more later. Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bamei. Thalia?
Hello to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, Bamei, could you remove your screen share? Thanks.
Yes.
Go ahead, Thalia.
Okay. So good morning or good afternoon to everybody. It's very nice to meet you all, although with some of you have also met in personally, as with certainly with Anne. I'm really very happy and excited participating in this particular webinar, and I hope that lots more will follow, and all with very interesting subjects to be discussed. A few words for me in order to introduce myself. I am working as Environmental and Sustainability Manager and Manager of Strategic Planning Support, and also as Manager of Research Programs, both in private and public sector. And my main focus areas are environment, energy, circular economy, resources, climate, energy, and many others. I'm also partner in several companies with environment and energy focus, and I was selected in 2018 to be project manager in the Council of Europe regarding, in order to contribute, among others, to the Council of Europe's aim in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Also that period, I'm working on supporting the government to build an institutional mechanism for policy coherence with SDGs. What's the reason that I keep mentioning my involvement with SDGs is because this was our core theme and our main theme for the twinning that was implemented between our club, BPW Thessaloniki, Greece, and the BPW club in Larnaca, Famagusta, Cyprus. Of course, we are a very, let's say, young BPW club. We only have almost 3 years of existence in Greece. So our experience from twinning is right now with this training with the Cyprus BPW, but we really hope that we will have more trainings in the future. So having in mind that period in 2017, that the sustainable global goals are important, world-changing objectives and require cooperation among everybody. And also having in mind and combining with BPW's targets and aims, which are the SDGs and everything related to them, we decided to choose them as the theme of our training with the Cyprus BPW club, and achieve both development of the professional, business and leadership potential of women in all levels, and also engage actively and successfully to meet the SDG goals. So the twinning between our clubs was implemented under the title BPW Towards Agenda 2030. We tried to establish a long-term cooperation between us, and we focused on working for the achievement of a couple of SDGs, mainly through BPW's values and targets. So the Sustainable Development Goals that were chosen were SDG 5 regarding gender equality, and also SDG 4 regarding quality education, with a main focus on long life learning, long life education. During the twinning, we discussed a lot. We tried, first of all, to combine the needs of our members and also of all the society, let's say, around us, with the chosen theme of training. And we believe that we accomplish a lot. And we surely have the possibility to also gain more. So we'll start from the visits, let's say, we exchanged, in order, let's say, to describe what we have done. We traveled to both countries, trying to get closer together, understand our similarities and differences, of course, and conclude to our common targets. So we achieved to create a very good team, which is essential, that first was bonded together with friendship, and secondly, with the will to cooperate and work together. During those visits in both countries, both in Greece and in Cyprus, numerous events and speeches were made. Also, we created working groups from our members in order to make our targets more achievable. We tried, and I believe that we managed to both train our members and their friends under SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 4, quality and long life education. There were speeches and discussions with well-known women, such as Maria Spiraki, which is a Greek member in the European Parliament, and many others. We listened to them, we learned from their experience and stories, we asked questions and got useful answers, we discussed a lot with them and among us, and at the end we found ourselves in the position of being more trained, more conscious and more determined. So this happened not only for the BPW members that participated in this, but also to our friends, our colleagues that join us, citizens in our places, and in general, all women and men also that got involved in our actions. So in order to summarize what we earned through this experience of training, I will mention the following, and I believe also that the following will and can be used very easily as a tool or as, let's say, highlights in order, or some, let's say, bullets to have a successful twinning. So first of all, we achieve to find the right partner. This is very important. Of course, its twinning is unique. However, it is always, as we know, necessary to have the same understanding and aspirations. So under the BPW umbrella, I believe that we share a lot of common targets, so it's easier to achieve a successful twinning, although there is existence of differences due to geographic location, of course, economic activities, history, and others, environmental and other social issues. So that was what we accomplished first. We find for our first twinning a very right partner, which really helped us, and we helped them have the best results. Secondly, we involved not only our members, but also friends, colleagues, the citizens, as I told you, and the whole community. So we had a very active participation of all. So the twinning was more visible and the percentage of people affected was larger. So our targets had a better success. Third, we include the European and worldwide dimension on this. Both the theme of twinning and also the BPW organization itself have a broad appeal in Europe and in the whole world. We also got to know each other and exchange experience in a European level. We experience also the daily life of others. We discovered new cultures, although the language was the same, because Greece and Cyprus has, let's say, the same language, but we have also some differences. We have different, let's say, habits. So this was a very good experience, and this is something that is an asset that can be used, and also in other trainings. So we understood that one more time that we belong to one community of common values. Although there were differences, we had a very numerous, let's say, number of issues that we have in common. And this helped us make the twinning successful. Another important point is that we define from the beginning common objectives. We set common targets, we discussed them very much, and we set also goals establishing the twinning link. We defined together clear objectives and types of activities, and we were all agreed and to the actions that we chose to do. So we had a common target and common actions. So we were all committed to the same priorities regarding the twinning. Also, we created a support structure, which is very important in order to have the twinning succeed. Behind the twinning, there was a support team, a small but active team that helped to maintain the connections, develop the partnership through new aims and projects, seek financing where it was needed, organize actions, and lots more. And we created also a sustainable relationship. A good twinning link must be able to withstand the test of time. So strong friendships and true links of solidarity had grown between the two clubs. And now we are really friends and not only partners or co-members in different clubs. We also set the basis to look to the future and build perspectives for new exchanges. And our twinning link created this ideal environment to succeed this. And soon we will start new discussions on finding other interesting targets. So we understood the real meaning of twinning, and we look really forward to make other twinnings with other countries all over the world, with other BPW clubs. Now, and I'm finishing, that we have been affected also by COVID-19, we also look forward to e-twinning, which we believe will be also interesting and successful, and will give opportunities to bring BPW sisters together in a very efficient way. So I will stop my speech now because I really don't want to make you tired. I tried, let's say, to combine both experience and what I believe is good. Sorry for not being able to share a PowerPoint, but I'm really open if you have any questions, and thank you so much for listening. And now I think that Anu can have the floor in order to continue. Thank you very much.
Hello to everyone. My name is Viks. I am from Estonia, and maybe some of big BPW sisterhood is still not aware that where Estonia exactly is, because we are really, let's say, I don't want to say tiny, but let's say a not too big country. And we are in the northeast of Europe, and our closest neighbor is Finland. And BPW Estonia has actually throughout the years, and this year we are celebrating the 28th anniversary already, we have been mostly twinning with our neighbors. So BPW Finland, visiting each other's businesses, BPW Latvia, also visiting each other's businesses and birthdays, BPW Lithuania, and also with two Russian clubs, one in St. Petersburg and one in Moscow. But today I would like to tell you about the strategic twinning, and especially in Estonia, when we are twinning with other BPW clubs, then we always focus on business. Because one of the rules of BPW is to make women, free financially, not dependent on anyone, and to share best practices between business women. This is the aim of our twinning. But today, what I'm going to tell you about is actually the initiative that came from BPW Spain. Just a second. And BPW Spain president approached us already in 2013, asking that will BPW Estonia want to be the partner in the twinning project, especially concerning businesses. And of course, we were ready for it, because twinning is always interesting and different projects are always interesting. And the project was wrote by BPW Spain, and the money for this project came from European, actually Norwegian grants. And Norway, as one of the most developed countries by gender equality here in northern part of Europe, has throughout years distributed funds for different projects. And they are always funding the projects on equality, equal opportunities for men and women on the labor market, and also equal pay. So BPW Spain wrote a project, and they were lucky to get the funds. And why have we chosen those projects that from where to learn from each other, we can also get funding, because then we can include many more members. And the project was built up on business exchange. So at first, as you can see here, members of BPW Spain, all business women, visited Tallinn in June 2015, and we made a 3-day program. We had a whole day seminar in Chamber of Commerce of Estonia on women in business, that how women as business owners or the startups, how they can get funding from the state, how can they get funds from the banks, and how can they get the knowledge, for example, to start the business, to run the business. And of course, one very important issue was the equal pay. So how has this been looked after? So, and we built up the program for Spanish women so that we were visiting Estonian companies, I mean Estonian capital companies, and also the companies of our own members who had, established their own companies. And Nortal, it's a technology company in Estonia, all an Estonian capital. Lenne, it's children's clothing. It's a family business, but actually let's say the lady who started it already in 1991, she started to just sew clothes for children, and from that came a big business, and it is a very, very well-known and very sought-after business already. I mean, the children's clothes already in Estonia and our neighboring countries. So then we visited TV Tower, Estonian TV Tower. It's not just a TV tower, it's a theme park for like a more technological theme park. And the general manager of it was the member of BPW Estonia at the time. And also, we Estonians keep it very dear, that Let's Do It World, the world cleanup. Maybe you know already, but 2 years ago in September, the world was cleaned up. And actually this project started in Estonia already in 2012. And at first we cleaned up Estonia. What does it mean? As you know, there is trash on the side of the roads or in the forests or on the streets. So different teams were organized, and the registration was online, so that who is going to clean which part of Estonia. So then the Let's Do It World campaign became, after we had cleaned up Estonia for 5 years already, and the world was cleaned up in September 2018. And I also added the web link so you can have a look at it. What does it mean? And as I know, in many countries where you are from, also the world cleanup happened. So we are for the sustainable world, and we want to have the green world and good living environment. And Estonia is also very known for the startups. So together with our members from Spain, we visited the business hub in Ülemiste, and there are many startup companies there. And of course, twinning, it's having fun also. We showed the members from Spain, Tallinn, and visited different new restaurants together with members of BPW Estonia, and it was meant for the networking dinners and networking lunches. And we invited to these dinners also businesswomen all around Estonia. And the second part of this open door projects funded by Norwegian grant was that Estonian BPW members visited Spain. And in 2015, the president of BPW Spain was from Valencia, Maria Jose Mainar, and this is the reason why we visited Valencia. So also their Chamber of Commerce, also the Ivatse International, it's a construction real estate company, and the travel agency Europe Travel, because from Estonia we had a travel agent with us, who our own member, who started her business already 25 years ago, being a travel operator. So, and we mostly visited the BPW Spain members and their businesses. So at one of the wine cellars that is owned by BPW Spain member and Universidad Florida, we saw that there were gender equality programs, also BPW Spain member. And for us, the most amazing was to visit the Serrano Jamon factory, where they make the delicious jamon, or the, I think you know what I mean. Here I listed some other companies that we visited. And also we had networking dinners and sightseeing together with members of BPW Spain. And I must say that we are still very good friends. When I see some member from BPW Spain, they are like sisters for us. And I think that we are like sisters for them also. So this is the project from 2015. So here we can see the BPW Spain members visiting Tallinn, Lenne, and on the second photo we are visiting the Serrano ham factory in Valencia. So, and the second strategic twinning project by BPW Estonia. Estonia joined European Union in 2004, and since then, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Estonia has been giving funding to the cooperation projects with countries who need knowledge, need advice, and one of those countries is Moldova. So there are Moldova, Ukraine, Belarus, Georgia, Afghanistan, and with Moldova, the funding foresaw also training of women. So that's why the project was especially important for us. And to speak about my experience, then almost 30 years ago, when Estonia became independent, then many women from Sweden came to Estonia with the projects, and they trained us. They trained us, encouraged us, and gave us the strength to carry out our dreams, and teach us how to be and what to do. So now, doing the same thing in Moldova, I felt like I'm giving back what once we got from the women from Sweden. And we wrote the project, and our project got the funding. And it was a project together with BPW Moldova and AFAM Moldova. It's another businesswomen organization in Moldova. And the title of the project was Equal Possibilities in Working Life for Women of Moldova. And why did we decide on such a title? Because to speak about, let's say, everyday life in Moldova, then it is still quite, let's say, not as advanced as by gender equality like in other countries in Europe. So it is still based on patriarchy. So the man is the ruler of the family, and he decides. Women, after having children, very many of them stay home. They don't go to work anymore. And to support them and give them the needed knowledge, that's why the working title of this project is Equal Possibilities in Working Life. So, and how did this project work out? We decided that we are going to train 80 women in Moldova. So the first training was in November 2017 for 40 women, and the second training in February 2018 for 40 women. And the trainers were the BPW Europe Leadership and Lifelong Learning Taskforce members. Esther is President of BPW Estonia, I myself, and Lena Piisild. And the training was built up on, at first, breaking stereotypes, then encouraging women. We trained them also to introduce themselves, to do the elevator pitch. Also, because not every woman is meant to run her own business, then part of the training was for professional women, for them to be better prepared in the working life. And the second part was for those who wanted to open their own business. So there was how to write a business project, how to ask for funding, how to find companies from where to ask for the money for the support, and also how to, what we saw that the women in Moldova were lacking was that they didn't know how to introduce themselves. So how to shortly pitch and introduce and get what you want. And it was really eye-opening for us also. And I must say that in Moldova, what worked very well were the success teams. Success teams, I think most of you know what it is, and it is also one of the tools we are working in BPW. And very many success teams came to life after our training, and new ones are created all the time. And it is really a good tool by which women in Moldova achieve what they have put the targets to do. And in 2018 also, 12 women from Moldova came to Estonia. And all this project was funded by Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia. So all our plane tickets, our accommodation, the money for the venue was paid from this project. And also for women from Moldova to come to Estonia, it was also paid from this project. And the project managers got paid also for their work. So we choose from these 80 women, 12 women who come to Estonia. And these were the women who had the greatest potential to open their own businesses. And to be selected, every one of them had to write the letter of intent. And it was also one of the lessons we wanted to teach, that how to write the letter of intent. So 12 women arrived to Estonia, and here it was also the training, and then the visits to companies run by Estonian women. And at this visit, we focused on tourism companies, Estonian rural tourism, and also visited the Embassy of Moldova in Estonia. The ambassador welcomed us and participated also in the visits to the businesses. And in 2019, 30 women from Estonia, we invited our own members to go to Moldova. So 30 women from Estonia all together visited Moldova, and the Moldova side organized us the visits to the companies run by Moldova women. And these were really interesting because I have never been in a cashew farm before. So some of them were rural tourism companies. And so last year, another 10 women visited Estonia again. So these were different women this time. And the aim of this project was to give as much knowledge and experience to the women of Moldova and share. And the project worked out very well because BPW Moldova got so many new members from these trainings, and the cooperation between the two Moldova women organizations became much better. And of course, we are lifelong friends now. And all it was arranged by the funding of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Estonia, and trained by the BPW Leadership and Lifelong Task Force members. And the task force is very active in Europe, and we are preparing now the online training, and it will be ready in this autumn for all the BPW members. Thank you very much. And what I encourage is that please look everywhere for funding, because Norway opened another grants from 2021 to 24, and also about the gender equality. They are going to fund the gender equality projects. So look around and you will find where to write the project and get the funding for the project. Thank you very much.
Okay, Yasmin, you or me, doesn't much matter. So yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you. Now we can have, I think, 15 minutes for questions and answers. Do you have any question for our speakers?
Maybe we could also include if any of you have had twinning experiences that you'd like to briefly share. We can add to the richness.
Yeah. In what I want to say this happens in big countries, that they are also twinning in between, for example, a club in the north and with the south in the same country. And I don't know if this is Anu, the project that At the very end of my triennium, we decided to support a project of Moldova with 10,000 euros. I don't know if this is the project founded that we decide to give it this grant. At that time, we have some resource in the project's budget item, and it was Moldova. It was one for Europe, one for North America, and one for Latin America, the only ones who present projects. So there is, sometimes there is a possibility, and the other possibility also for training only is the 5.0. The 5.0 is, well, this is a subject for another webinar, I think so. One of the experts is our past international president, Sylvia Perry. She wrote the book of the 5.0, and that starts these engagements with 5 women international organizations since 1985. And it's very interesting. So you can find out more how to get funds for your projects.
I see that Jo has her hand raised. So, Jo?
Hi, hello to everyone. I haven't found the twinning process very easy to negotiate. After the last Congress, I've tried to twin with BPW Kenya, and they were quite happy, and we started the process. But it fizzled out because it's not an easy process to go through. So any tips would be very welcome, please.
Maybe I can respond to this, Jo, because before Bamei's time, who reviewed the basics of it, but was not in Hong Kong at the time, I handled the first 5 twinnings in our first triennium. So there's actually just a 1-page form that needs to be filled out, and you negotiate the common goals and the duration of the contract beforehand, and that's what goes on the form. And each club president signs it, or if it's federation to federation, then each federation president signs it, and then it just gets emailed to Nelina Basile, who is in northern Italy and is our international chair for twinning. And then she files it with international, and then she'll get back to you with the chartering form. But it's really just a 1-page document. The process is just deciding on the goals between the 2 clubs.
I did that, and it all got signed, and it all went there, and it got stuck in treacle, and nothing has happened since.
Well, you can go ahead with the twinning, though. We went right ahead with our twinnings because it's unfortunate that Nelina is often not on top of things. So you don't necessarily hear back, but you can continue the twinning regardless. I mean, that's just an agreement between 2 clubs to have some mutual project. The twinning process in BPW, as I understand it, is the recognition that you're twinning, but nothing would prevent you from continuing regardless of what happens on the paperwork end of things.
I've continued the personal relationship and swapping BPW ideas, but no, nothing formal's gone through. So I just need to look at it again, and perhaps I'll talk to you offline, Anne, and get some help.
Sure. The formal side is a piece of paper, Jo. So I would continue with the active part of things.
Thank you.
So yeah, happy to talk to you more about that.
And I would like to add about twinning also, that when we sign the twinning between 2 clubs with through Nelly from Italy, then we can twin even, let's say, more often than just once, because we have been practicing it. Our members have been visiting Italy. It was southern Italy, one of the clubs, and we have always invited that please come to visit us. We will arrange you the program. We will take you to the businesses here in Estonia. We will take it up to the startup hubs. And everyone is very welcome. So for us, business twinning is most interesting. But of course, twinning can be also cultural. And as Anne said, that you have to set the goal first. And everything is arrangeable. Everything, we can find sponsors, even if it seems at first to be very expensive to visit each other's countries, but everything is doable. So be encouraged.
And visiting is not necessary. So it's one of the ways people twin, but we want to talk about lots of options in this. That's the point of strategic twinning, to have a goal and to look at lots of different purposes for twinning. So a lot of times people think they need to visit each other's countries for twinning, but it's just one of the ways that people twin. So in our first 2 years, we needed to, I knew a certain amount about BPW as the founding president, but the rest of our members were not so familiar. And we needed to help them become familiar with BPW practices as quickly as possible. So that's why we twinned with one in each of the 5 regions, so that through presidential exchange of information and best practices and young BPW, we could learn from. I'm not sure that they gained so much from us, except enthusiasm, but we could learn a lot from more established clubs around the world. And our members also had the sense that BPW is everywhere, because we had that very broad twinning. So Thalia, I think in your case, you were new and Larnaca was a long-time established club. So I imagine one of your purposes was that similar to that you could really gain a lot of knowledge and best practices ideas from Larnaca.
Mm-hmm. Yes, certainly. This was one of the targets, to gain practice and ideas. And to say the truth, they helped us a lot because they have been established many years before. So in order, regarding, let's say, the organization, the information of how BPW's, let's say, rules are set up, this was very helpful from their side. But to say the truth, they never, let's say, face us as, let's say, being lower than them, if I can, let's say, describe, you can understand what I want to say. We felt, everybody was felt equal, one to each other. It was a great training, a great relationship, great targets, and we really enjoyed both this training. And as I mentioned during my speech, we gained friendships additional to all this, which is very important. And I really believe that, as you said, it's not just, training is not just visiting. It's a way of, let's say, of being with each other. But there are many other ways. And I think that this period of the coronavirus, we have understood that there are several other ways that can help us make these trainings more easy to be, let's say, established, because search, and we can, let's say, make trainings with other clubs in very, in other continents, very away from our countries. And this is now much more easy, but it's everything in our minds, how we can accomplish this.
2 other of our strategies that Bamei mentioned, one, we're currently twinned with Wellington in New Zealand because they're very strong in parliamentary procedure, and Hong Kong is young and new and doesn't really use parliamentary procedure very much. So we want to learn that from them. But because Hong Kong is a young club with about 85% of its members under the age of 35 or 40, they want to do reverse mentoring with us and to learn from BPW Hong Kong in terms of things like technology and new business models and so on. So that's a very obvious mutual, even though they're you know, one of our original clubs. So they are very long established and this Hong Kong club is not, but we each have something to offer the other. And we mentored the even newer than us club in Malaysia. They weren't the first club in Malaysia, but the second. And I went to their christening, so to speak. And they then asked us to twin with them because they actually wanted to learn from Hong Kong, even though we were just a couple of years established at that point. but we were further along in getting established than they were. And so they wanted to work with us for that. So many ideas. Anybody else want to jump in? Experiences of twinning or questions or comments? Nobody? Has anybody else twinned with their clubs?
Just to add that now I think the new reality is virtual twinning. So we are going to can organize the virtual twinning.
Sure.
And we are the club from Tyrol. We are just trying to learn about twinning because the idea is for us relatively new. But we have our colleague from Bavaria just across the border, Barbara Roberts, who is also interested in twinning with us. And we wanted to just first know what does it take, or where do you start, or what is it at all? Like, what is the requirements or benefits, and how do we have to set up ourselves? So for us, it was kind of a lucky coincidence that just when we were talking about this topic, this came up. So we joined you. Yeah, so, and thank you.
Great. One of the things that I really want to explore more with the Hong Kong Club, and I've been talking with Bamei and a few others there about this, is somewhat like what we're doing now, but it's so easy to make, as we all have on our own anyway, a 2-hour symposium, say, and invite guest speakers from 6 other places in the world, each one beaming in as we're doing now, and really beginning to utilize much more than ever the talent and the knowledge and the expertise of our BPW membership worldwide. So we can have speakers from anywhere, as long as it's not middle of the night for them and we have a common language to use. So online events, online shared meetings, symposia, conferences, I think this would be great. Carmen, have you done any twinnings in Ireland?
No, not really. We did do with Croatia. They came to Galway, thinking about doing it, but it never progressed after that. Really, we didn't go back to Croatia. They'd come to us. These things happened. So, but I'm very interested in the virtual twinning. I think that we could do that, because we're actually starting Ireland's first BPW Ireland virtual club is in the planning at the moment. We should have it up and running soon. A new club for us, with all our virtual people who've been joining us for webinars and stuff, but who aren't BPW members but who wanted to. But geographically, they're all over the country, so where we don't have clubs. So we decided to do BPW Ireland Virtual Club. We should have that running in the next few weeks. And obviously these members eventually, we hope, when all this is over, will maybe go on to form clubs around the country. So I think the virtual twinning is a lovely idea as well. And we are planning also towards the end of the year, November, to do a virtual conference. So we will be reaching out to our international European friends as well for speakers. So have you all on my list here? I'm looking at you.
So we did a video tutorial, not a live webinar, on the virtual club about a month ago. So you can find that in our library for leadership in BPW, and with some long-time established virtual clubs. We are at the end of our time frame, I just noticed. I bet you all knew that already. So we want to thank our speakers. We have Dr. Chang, Bamei, my friend from Hong Kong, and Thalia, also my friend in, some feedback, also my friend in Thessaloniki. Somebody has feedback who's not muted. Okay. And of course, Anu, also my friend, who is in Tallinn, where I've also been a couple of times, including last year. And so thank you to all of you. Thank you to my co-host, Yasmin, of course, Partners in Crime. And we want to thank all of you who are attending this webinar. Please let everyone you know in BPW know that this webinar happens once a month on a leadership topic relevant to BPW. And we have a large collection and growing collection of video tutorials and past webinars on our YouTube channel. If you haven't been there, just search Leadership in BPW on YouTube and you will go right there, I promise. So we hope to see you all again next month and spread the word. Thanks to all of you. Nice to see your faces. Bye for now.